hit the phones hard, and just prospect, right? And as long as you do it consistently and it's a daily habit, that got me a lot of business. And then I knew I had to focus on listings, right? I started with Keller Williams Realty, and they taught leads, listings, and leverage. So I knew I had to be listings focused, and I kind of went all in on listings. I never focused on any buyers. I wouldn't work with a buyer. And yeah, man, I made it a point. Gary Keller back then, with Keller Williams, he told me, "Hey, you got to get your routine. You got to be prospecting." So that's what I did. I was really a machine, and I just prospected from 8 to 11 every morning, Monday through Friday, and I wouldn't quit until I hit my at least 20 contacts for the day. And that's just what they told me to do, and that's what I did, and it worked.
What's going on, everybody? It's me, it's Aaron Wittenstein, and we are here with the Vulcan7 Roadmap. This is where we teach you how to take an additional 2, 3, 4, 356 additional listings a week. And I actually have somebody here. I don't know. It feels like I got my twin brother here for some odd reason. Don't ask me why. I don't know if it's the bald. I don't have the facial hair, but I got the bald thing and the black shirt. We did not plan this. Just so everybody knows that we did
You
not.
look great.
You look phenomenal, by the way. It's like I'm looking in a mirror right now.
All you need is some facial hair. That's about it.
My wife doesn't like it. So, but we've got Colt Callison here from Wichita, Kansas. How are you doing, my friend? You doing well?
Doing great, man. I appreciate the opportunity to be on here. Thanks.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. Very well welcome. So you started real estate. You said it was 13. Did I remember that correctly?
It was August of 2013, so I'm going on 11 years now.
11 years. And from what you're telling me, tell me back in like 13, 14, 15, 16, how many listings were you taking like at any given point with expireds?
Oh man, there was I remember a week, and this was just expireds, and back then it was withdrawals. Now it's canceled in our MLS, but
Mhm.
just expires and canceled. I took 8 listings in 1 week when I was going, hot and heavy with prospecting with Vulcan. Yeah,
So you took 8 listings in
one
like,
week.
and that's why you have no hair, right? Am I right? Like that's
Yeah,
where it went.
that pretty much done it. I mean, basically, people say I look like The Rock, and so I'm just a smaller version. But other than that, yeah, I just go with the bald look.
There we go. There we go. All right. So I know from like I said from our previous conversation here, you were calling expireds.
Yep.
You kind of got away from doing that a bit. Okay. You went a different route when it comes to that, and over the last few months, you've really kind of taken it back into making those regular expired phone calls. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Aaron, when I first started in real estate, I worked for a team. I was a buyer's agent, and I ended up being the number one buyer agent for that team. I was selling about 8, 9 homes a month on that team. Prospecting. That's what really taught me how to just hit the phones hard, and just prospect, right? And as long as you do it consistently and it's a daily habit, that got me a lot of business. So I took that experience and I utilized it in my own business when I broke away from that team. And then I knew I had to focus on listings, right? I started with Keller Williams Realty, and they taught leads, listings, and leverage. So I knew I had to be listings focused, and I kind of went all in on listings. I never focused on any buyers. I wouldn't work with a buyer. And yeah, man, I made it a point. Gary Keller back then, with Keller Williams, he told me, "Hey, you got to get your routine. Nothing happens in real estate before 11 o'clock. So from 8 to 11, you got to be prospecting." So that's what I did. I was really a machine, and I just prospected from 8 to 11 every morning, Monday through Friday, and I wouldn't quit until I hit my at least 20 contacts for the day. And that's just what they told me to do, and that's what I did, and it worked. So
Yeah, I mean, because we all know, I mean, it's knowing your numbers.
yeah,
I mean, I think it's really knowing the numbers that you have because when you make it a math equation, if you will, you don't have to think anymore. You know that X plus Y equals Z times 3. You don't have to sit there and even worry. Am I right?
Absolutely. I mean, I've tracked everything. I've tracked how many dials I've made. I've tracked how many contacts I made, how many contacts it takes to get a listing appointment set. So it's really easy for me from a business owner and business standpoint now to make a business plan. At the end of the year, what's my goal? Find that goal and then just work backwards, right? I know how many listing appointments I have to go on, how many contacts I have to make on a daily basis. And what I find is, and especially with the newer agents that I train, is people get so focused, Aaron, on this big, I want to make 100,000 or I want to make 200,000, and they get so focused on that, but they don't break it down into daily activities, right? They don't even know how many contacts that is a day in order to hit that goal. And if you really do the math and just break it down, I mean, it's so simple, right? And all I got to do is just trust the process.
Exactly. You just took one of my favorite lines. I'm going to trust the process. Trust the process. Can I ask you a question? Because I know that means something different to everybody. When you hear
Yeah,
the term trust the process, what does that mean to you particularly?
man, it's to me, and I tell you what, I struggle with this too. I'm a 40,000 foot view kind of guy, but I really am horrible at digging down in the daily activities. So it's knowing that I have to trust that if I come in and like I make my contacts that I know I have to make, that in the end, at the end of the year, the math is going to work out. And I have to trust. I have to see long term for these today activities, and that's hard to do. And that we all want things now, and in real estate, unfortunately, we're working 60 to 90 days out, right? If we're
Mhm.
prospecting today, we're not closing for you know 2 3 months, maybe 4 months, and that's a hard thing to do as a independent contractor. We don't get paid every 2 weeks. So just trusting that in the end, if you just do the daily activities and you're consistent with it, it'll work out.
Exactly. It's trusting the process. Just make. I have a T-shirt that says "Trust the Process" on it. If you couldn't believe it, I don't remember where I
That's
found it.
awesome.
I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna get your address. I'm gonna send you a "Trust the Process" T-shirt.
I'll
Um,
wear it.
I know we'll wear it together on our next one,
Exactly.
right?
We'll get back on here and twins it up again.
There we go. All right. So I want to fast forward. Okay. So you were doing this for a long period of time. You backed away from it. Kind of went a little bit of a different route, if you will. And right now you're back heavy hitting it, right?
Yeah. So 2014, I really hit it hard, and that went. I got up to. I was an individual agent, no help, no administrative help, no buyers agents, nothing like that. Got up to 25 active listings. And I had another 8 of them pending. So what is that? 33 listings at my peak. I was probably getting 4 or 5 buyer sign calls a day, and I would basically just give them the information about the house. And when they wanted to see the house, I'd say, "Hey, sorry, I don't have time to go show you. Call somebody else." So my mistake back then is I didn't leverage help to work those buyer leads, and there was a ton of them. What I ran into though is that was the only type of business that I was utilizing, right? So when I was with the team, I was taught to be transactional. It wasn't my problem to deal with the long term value of a client and keep them as a long term customer or long term client. It was just go to the next one. Here's the next lead, work the next lead. And so that's how I kind of worked my business until 2017. And then I honestly I just went into burnout because I got to a point where I knew, hey, if I didn't go in the office and prospect, my business was dead. And when I was doing my yearly goals, for 2017, I honestly just went into burnout. I didn't have any referral business, anything like that. I was strictly prospecting based. And, that's when I found a method, with and a great system. And it's honestly right out of the, Millionaire Real Estate Agent book that I've read multiple times. It's a database. It's 33 touch, and that's what we utilize. And last year we sold 58 units, a little over 324,000 in GCI, and those were mostly referral based. So I've been in the leadership aspect of the brokerage for a while, and we just decided that um, we want to pivot, right? it's not as profitable as we thought being a traditional brokerage. So we've kind of let most of the agents go. I've kept the good ones that I can really trust and know how to work the buyers and leads. So now gone back into sales. Just recently started prospecting on a daily basis with Vulcan. Love it, by the way. It's the best data that I've uh, seen out there with the other products that I've used in the past. And I focus 100% on listings, just like I did back then. But now I have help on the buy side. So when we generate buyer leads, I just hand those off, and it allows me to stay focused on what I know is going to continue to grow the business. So the way we're going about it now is we have a really great dialed-in system for referrals and repeat business. We want to continue doing that, but I also want to grow. So we're prospecting for brand new business with expireds, canceled, stuff like that for sell by owners. And then once we, pick them up as clients, they go in our database and hopefully keep them for the long term because we understand the long term value of a client now. So that's really our business strategy, and it's working.
So you went from transactional, right,
Absolutely.
to relational, right? Then you found a way to make the transactional turn into relational,
It's the best of both
which
worlds.
which in my opinion is right there. It's a triangle going back and forth. If you,
Yep.
heck, it's more of a circle than anything because it's just running around. You know what I mean? You're getting done what you need to get done with it. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and I think that so many agents that at least I speak with, it's get it in, get it in. It's a number. Which we just spoke about, did we not?
Yep.
Where they're not just a number, they're a human being. And when you can have that one, let's say every month you get 4 expireds, a for sale by owner, and 3 referrals, that's a well balanced business. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, if you truly understand, Aaron, the value, the lifetime value of a client, I'll pay a referral fee to pick up a client anytime. I mean, if anybody wants to send a referral to Wichita, Kansas, I'll take it. I'll pay, whatever you want because I understand that if we just keep in touch with them, which is the big mistake for most agents, but if we just keep in touch with them and we just make it relational, it doesn't every conversation doesn't have to be about real estate, and that's the secret, right? It's getting to know them. It's getting to know what little Johnny did, for soccer. How did it go? It's just simple conversations to build friendships. And that's what I learned, 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago now. Man, time flies. But I don't have to be salesy. It's just coming from, you know, come from contribution. Obviously, when I want to help out with their home, but I also being curious about them as a person. And that's got us a lot of business.
So let me ask you this: how is the relational, um, what's the word I'm looking for here? The relational conversations impacted your transactional conversations? Do you feel now when you're speaking with an expired or for sale by owner, it's a bit different than it was back in the day?
Oh man. I remember when I first was learning expired prospecting. I remember getting into arguments. I mean, it was like, no, your house did come off the market, and I had to prove them wrong, like I was the great salesperson. And I just I don't know what I was thinking. Now every phone call that I get on, I'm just trying to look at how I can help them. Right? Come from contribution first. That's the most important thing, and just be relational. People are already upset that their home didn't sell. They're upset. So if you come in acting like you're the end all be all, you're the greatest thing in the world, roadblock right away. So I just come in and I try to be a person, just like if you were to call me, how would I want you to call me, right? Just come from that, and typically they'll let their guard down. You can actually see, hey, why didn't the home sell? What makes you think it didn't sell? Where?
Can I say, I don't want to cut you off, but
No, go
would you be amenable to doing a role play with me?
Oh man, I figured you'd put me on the spot. Now I got to act like I know what I'm doing.
No, and no pressure, lots of pressure. No pressure, no.
No pressure
Because
whatsoever.
I honestly, I just, you hear so many different. I want to hear what you do. I won't be difficult. I mean, we'll make this. I'll be moderately difficult, but give me a call.
Ring ring.
Hello.
Hey Aaron,
Yes.
Aaron, it's Colt Callison, managing broker over here at Provident Realty. How you doing, man?
I'm good. You're like the 45th agent to call me today.
I'm sure. Hey, I won't take up much of your time. I just noticed that your house came off the market.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get that sold, or is it still available by chance?
No, it didn't sell, and I think we're gonna wind up just relisting with our same agent, Sally Mae.
I understand. Let me ask you this: I'm looking at the pictures right now, and I'm curious. What do you think kept it from selling? Because it looks like a wonderful house. Did you guys get much feedback at all?
Yeah, I mean the reality of it is our agent never showed the house, and we only had one open house, and I just so I don't know. Like I said, I like her. I think she's a great lady. I
Yeah.
definitely do. But I maybe it was the marketing.
You think maybe the marketing?
Hmm.
Did how many showings did you have?
We had
I'm
like 13, 13.
13, 13. Man, you've been on the market for over 4 months. That's it. Okay. So did you get any helpful feedback, Aaron, on maybe the layout or maybe the price or anything like that? Did anybody help you kind of get a good understanding of why they weren't making offers?
One person didn't like the tile in my bathroom, and the other one said that the pool was ugly.
Pool was ugly. Okay. Sounds good. How long has it been since you had your last showing?
It's been a bit. I have no idea. I don't know offhand. I don't. I'm not sure.
Gotcha. Hey, and I completely understand you wanting to go back with your old agent. Let me ask you this: and I don't mind doing this at all. Would you be opposed, Aaron, if I ran a full market report on your property, just for me to take a look at it and see if I can maybe pinpoint what would help you get it sold? Would that be worth 15 minutes of your time for us to go over that?
Um, I mean, I I mean, what would you do differently than Sally Mae?
I'm really glad that you mentioned that. Here's the thing: typically, it's hard for me to put together a game plan without seeing the home, right? And seeing what's really important for you guys. What you're looking at doing. I don't know where you're looking at going. I don't know what your time frame is that you need to sell. I don't know your motivation or anything like that. So it'd be a good thing for us to get together. I'll have all the data. It's not just my opinion, Aaron. It's black and white. I'm just going to show you, how many showings have been going on, and you can compare how your house has performed compared to everybody else's that's sold. And we can just go over that data, and we can talk about what I would do from a marketing standpoint. And if you like what I have to say, hey, great, we can do business. And if you don't, we can still part ways as friends. Would that be worth your time?
Um, hmm. Yeah. I mean, if you want to stop by, you know what I mean. I'm not signing anything.
No, I don't. I'm not expecting you to sign anything. This is for us to get to know each other and even see if it's a good fit. Right? If we can't be on the same page on anything, I don't even know if I'd be able to help you and list your home. So it's worth 15 minutes of my time for us to get together. I got time later this evening, or we could do tomorrow afternoon. Which one of those?
Tomorrow afternoon sounds dandy.
Tomorrow afternoon. And then I would just set the appointment. So I don't really care to go into a lot of detail as much as I need. I know other agents say, hey, you got to pre qualify and everything. When I do my business plan, Aaron, I count on only listing 40% of the ones I go on. That's my business plan because I would rather go out and get in front of people that I think might be a long shot and eventually get it later down the road. So that's just kind of how I do things. I'd
So,
rather just get in front of people.
so two things. I don't even know if you noticed you did this, but you have this sigh that you do when you're talking. It's you're like, and it comes like I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it comes off as very genuine. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I'm not trying to put. Yeah, it comes off as you're like. And it was just like I don't understand, and yeah, I like the way that sounded, and there was no, you were very just even. There was no like like you said before, you'd yell at people. There was
Hmm.
no unnecessary emotion in that conversation. It was very paced very nicely. It was very pleasant to speak with you.
So I try to make a point that if my heart rate ever rises, I'm wrong. So absolutely, I get excited and I'll celebrate if I set an appointment after I get off the phone and make my notes and everything. But I want it to sound like a normal conversation. Of course, I try to mirror and match as much as I can. I used to be really um, intentional about doing that earlier on, and I don't know. I kind of if they're excited, I'll act a little bit more excited. I honestly, if they're cussing up a storm on the phone, I'll do it as well. So I came from the military and law enforcement, and I can do it just as good as anybody else. But if it's just a calm, collected conversation, because what I've found is every other agent from the feedback that I've gotten is they are in their face over the phone, and it's all about, hey, when are you going to hire the best agent or the right agent? And that's not for me. So I just want to see what their problem was with the house, what kind of feedback they had, and see if I can help. That's it.
So let me ask you this then. All right, so you go on that appointment right there. They don't sign with you. What's your next step in the process?
Obviously you're going to follow up, right? I will tell you with the listing presentation that I've put together. I took a playbook out of Ben Kinney from Keller Williams up in Washington. He comes up with 5 actives, 5 pendings, and 5 sold comparables, and I have everything printed out with me. It's only about 10 pages of data, and that includes the net estimate and everything. I have it all. And when I walk people through the data on my listing presentation, really we just talk pricing strategy, what's going on, with the actives, what's going on with the pendings, and what's going on with the solds. And then at the end, right before I flip the page over and show them the net estimate, I just ask a simple question. Hey, Aaron, based off the information that we covered today, if you were me telling me where to price my home, where would you tell me to price it in order for it to sell? And then I shut up and I make
Mhm.
them answer that. And ever since I started doing that, Aaron, I've never had one person guess outside the range that I have on my net estimate. And I don't do a huge range; it's only about $10,000 range.
Got it.
Might be 375 to 385. I don't know, but they've always come within that because I just walk them through how to read what the market's doing. That's my only job. I'm not a salesperson. I'm just a consultant, and I just show them how we read the market data and guide them to the right price. And if they come to an agreement on price with you, then all I got to do is flip it over and say, "Hey, I completely agree. When would you like it to hit the market?"
These
And it's
sons of
an
God.
easy close.
I love that line right there. That is great. That is right there in the brain. I like that. Boom, right there. All right, my
Yep.
friends, let me ask you this. You got a new agent knocks on your door, okay? And he wants to get started. He's like, Colt, I need one piece of advice. What's that piece of advice you're going to give a brand new agent?
I tell you, you got to put the work in. There's no way around it. I think too many agents today, Aaron, are looking for the easy bullet. They're looking for the quick fix. They're out, doing everything that they feel is important except for the true stuff that's important, which is prospecting. I mean,
Right.
there's no way around it. If you want to be successful, and every successful agent will probably agree, what got them there is they were prospecting based. Guarantee it. And then you got to have a good system in place to keep that client around for life. So if you do those two things well, then you will have a nice business. It's really changed our life, I'll tell you that. So, but yeah, there's just no way around it, man. You just gotta do the work. That's it.
Yeah. That's pick up the phone, do somebody, call somebody, right? So what final words do you have here today?
What final words? Wow, that's a loaded question, Aaron. All I can say is for anybody brand new, right? You're not going to be perfect. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. So the thing I like to say is you got to fail forward, right? And as long as you're persistent and everything, you'll be very successful. But don't be afraid to make mistakes. I remember my very first listing appointment, I got laughed out of the dining room table. So I thought I had pretty good comps, and the guy just started grilling me on, well, that house is not like this, and here's why. And I didn't have any answers. So I went back to the office and I learned so much from that. I didn't get the listing. So I failed. And I could have easily quit right there, but you just got to stick with it, right? So That's what I keep telling people. And one thing I did learn, and it's rang true in my business: if you can last 4 to 5 years, Aaron, and you are very relational, you will have a huge repeat and referral business. But
I think that's
it takes you a little bit or a little while to build that up.
all right, my friend. Somebody moving to wonderful Wichita, Kansas. How does one get in touch with you for that referral?
You can easily give me a call. My cell phone, I'll just give that out. It's 316-796-3709. That's the best way to contact me. Colt at providentrealtyict.com is my email. But yeah, and I'd be happy to, never too busy for your referrals, right?
There we go, baby. All right, man. Well, thank you very much. Like I said, I've been doing the roadmap for a little bit now. You have the best haircut of anybody that I've seen on here.
Right back at you,
So
brother.
that's what I'm talking about. So, guys, tune in next week for us. We're here all the time, interviewing amazing agents across the country. And everyone, take care of yourselves.
See you guys.